Hi, my name's Dee, and welcome to Untitled Tarot. And welcome to my new moon reading. Now, I very nearly didn't do one because commitments, hours, all sorts. But I do want to, I don't know why I put that down, I do want to have a look at this particular new moon. It seems to be quite a special one, but quite a subtle one. Now, I will be doing a show with astrologer David Fisher. As soon as that is up, we're doing it like an hour before the new moon hits. As soon as that show is up, I will put the link down in the description below so that you can check out what a real astrologer says about it. Although there are plenty of astrology, good astrologers on YouTube, well worth the watch. But I wanted to add my own fourpenneth, which, as you know, I come from the idea of degree angels and the goetic spirits associated with it, and degree symbols. I love degree symbols. So, just to do the housekeeping, down below, hopefully, depending on when you watch this, a link to the video of me and David discussing the astrology of the new moon. Also, a link to the Facebook page for this channel. Now, that's got its own inbox, so if you want to contact me for a personal reading, that's a good way to do it. I do tend to respond most of the time within 24 hours. I won't always promise that, but most of the time within 24 hours. There's also a link tree down there, so you can email me or whatever, but trust me, Facebook is the best way. It's less likely that the message will get lost. So I will be doing a reading after. As ever, it's a general reading. I will see how I'm inspired, because I rather felt like it's one of the lunations earlier this year. It wasn't just that I'm short on time, because I was going to do a reading by element. But there's this distinct sense of, do I really need to do a big reading? Do people really need to hear the big reading or readings, sign specific? If I do that, I ain't got time for that. Because this is such a very internal moon. It's almost not a time for necessarily starting anything new, although as ever, it's good for setting intentions, or more to the point, like one of the other new moons recently, more than doing the groundwork ready to set the intention and just figure out how that intention needs to be. And once light returns to the moon, once you're on like first crescent, then that would be a good time to do the whole real intention setting and let it grow as according to the moon's light grows, or all of the, I'm sure if you're watching my channel, you know how to set intentions according to the waxing moon. So having a look at the symbols first, it's at 21 degrees Taurus. Now this is ruled by Imamia, who rules passion and expiation of errors. But also, Imamia is one of the Shem HaMepharash, or more to the point, was one of the Shem HaMepharash. In the Kabbalah, was considered to be an angel of the order of principalities. However, used to be in the order of principalities, as he is a fallen angel, where in hell he supervises and controls voyages, destroys and humiliates enemies when he is invoked to do so or is so disposed. Now, that idea of voyages and destroying and humiliating energies, now that's not something I would normally focus on, but as I say, I feel like this is quite an internal processing moon. From listening to all the different astrologers and from reading the symbols, it's a stand back and watch, a stand back and listen. But also it's a listen to yourself, listen to what your heart is saying, listen to what your own personal guidance from your higher self is saying. Not what any numpty like me on YouTube is telling you, but listen to what does this say? And what does this say? And possibly your belly as well, because, hey, we all know that's another brain. Because, I mean, I'll go into one of the symbols. Firstly, the first symbol that obviously I'm going to go for is the inside degree, as soon as I find the page in my database. The inside degree of the symbol, a blindfolded woman who sees the future. Now, the explanation with this is witnessing dispassionately the flow of time, standing outside of all linear progression and knowing what is likely to happen here. Supremely disengaged from surface affairs, even lightly dismissive of all secondary considerations, but tuned right in to the thread of prophecy and inner vision. Granted a certain grace to follow the inner track and serving a larger function as part shaman, part seer, and part commonsensical advisor. Salty wit, earthy and pithy, no nonsense. You know where the bones are buried. This degree gives penetrating insight, a throwback to more simpler worlds. One who warns of dangers ahead and is not amused by factions and fragments and phantoms of common assumption. That's quite weighty, isn't it? And immediately makes me think of, was two X-Men characters. It immediately makes me think of Destiny, of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and Freedom Force, or the newer sort of maybe new X-Men, a young girl called Blindfold, whose senses were scattered quite a bit across time. And you know, it screams Blindfold, really, that image, doesn't it? But there's this sense of observing things coming together, but only if you can hear them. The Sabian symbol for this is just as interesting. It's a finger pointing at a line of text in a book. And what it discusses, I'm not looking it up because I already know this one. What it discusses is there's only so much that outside wisdom or recorded wisdom that is delivered unto you can help. Because by the very fact that it's put into words, that it's put into a book, that it's put into some form of communication, bear in mind we've got Mercury retrograde coming up, that by its very nature limits it. It's putting it into a distinct amount, into a distinct thing that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Can be useful, sometimes not so much. Now, if we're stepping back and trying to look at the whole flow of time, then no. Beginnings, middles, and ends are less important than the whole thing. So again, it's absorbing that information, but listening, yes, to the outside world, but even more to the internal world. There was something else I was going to say about that, and it's just gone clean out of my head. Let's see what else they've got to say about it. So Dane Rudyard talks about it. A balance must be found between receiving guidance and self-determination of wisdom. Yes, that was it. Because we've just had, yesterday, Mercury conjunct North Node, giving us, one would assume, or one would hope, messages regarding our future, regarding our hungers for good or for ill. So, again, there's that sense of standing back and listening to the messages that Mercury conjunct North Node has brought us, or is in the process of bringing us. You know, it's not just going to happen at 2:30 in the afternoon. These, admittedly, the aspects with the faster moving planets pass quicker, but the energy is around. There will be something that activates that energy for you in whatever sense. I mean, it's in Gemini, wasn't it? So Mercury is extra powerful. Mercury's got a lot more to talk about. Mercury's got a lot more to think about being in Gemini as well. So there again, that sense of standing back and listening, but listening to your own thinking process, almost like imagine that you are your own English teacher and you look at that thinking process and you red pen it. Yep, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Hang on a minute. There's an assumption there that is not backed up. Where am I getting that from? And then standing back again, trying to observe it as one massive whole, whole with a W. So this really is a moon for, well, it's in Taurus, isn't it? It's a moon for being. Great for connecting with nature, and you'll hear all the astrologers talk about all that. It's very much a relationship-driven week, according to Anne Ortley over at Astrology Hub. But if you're looking at it on relationship terms, you need to do that standing back and listening so that you know what you are bringing to the table. And you hope that whoever else is there has done a bit of that standing back and listening as well, so they're familiar with what they are bringing to the table. It's wonderfully self-introspective, this moon, and rightly so, since we have so many different aspects this week, and what's happening on Wednesday has completely dropped out of my head, but I know that there's another aspect on Wednesday. So enjoy today, enjoy this time just to be your cosmically aware self, and if you don't feel particularly cosmically aware, all you have to do is sit and listen to the feelings, that rise up within you, listen to the feelings on your body, on your skin. When there's that, it's almost like a mood passes over the house like a cloud and then disappears off again, and just sit and watch it and go, huh. And if you know what that's about, great. And if you don't know what it is about, then you can just file it away for later. But again, I don't think this is a planning new moon. It's a being and allowing new moon, and also throwing out the trash. That was the other thing that a lot of the astrologers are putting on. And I think one of the symbols, no, Imamia, destroying enemies. That was it. That's what got me on this. As in those internal enemies, bits of your own mind that are basically bits that should be thrown out with the trash. Whether it's some belief that's leading you astray, or some knee-jerk reaction that will come apparent to you, or something that will come apparent to you to, hang on a minute, I've always reacted like this, but why? And use that Mercury and Gemini energy to actually pull it to pieces and have a look. Now, I have written down, I want to look at the Sapharial and the Kosminski degrees. So Sapharial, let me just scroll down. A field of rich grass in which stands a tree. A swarm of bees encircle the tree. It indicates one whose efforts will be successful and whose diligence will lead to the acquisition of money and friends. Industry and thrift will be the characteristics of the native, and success will come by those qualities rather than by unexpected favours of fortune. It is a degree of utility. Now, to me, that also suggests that whole stand back and listening. You don't have utility until you are aware of all of your resources. But it's showing that whatever it is that you have around you, you should be able to use well, or throw it out and get rid. Now, the Kosminski was also quite interesting. A hand holding a torch amidst the darkness denotes a light bearer whose mission is to guide others and to uplift them. No matter how dark the way, his presence inspires the brightness. There is no weakness in this native, just who knows just what he is on this world to do and who does it. Who knows just what he is on this world to do and who does it. It is a symbol of directorship. So there's this whole, like the Mercury North Node, messages about the future. It's a really good time to develop that awareness of what your life purpose is this week. And I say that because someone had a bit of a go at me one time on one of my tarot readings where I was talking all about life purpose. And I got some comments that was like, no, everybody knows that, and it really ends up being a hang up to them. Sorry, I'm being mean there, but sometimes your life purpose is just to be there, to be a member of a family, a member of a group, because your presence sets off the right reactions or actions in others. But as I say, there is no, I don't think I was put on earth just to do one thing. I'm a more complex creation than that. Why bother making a complex creation like me or like you to just do the one thing? Your life purpose changes from week to week to week, and certainly from year to year, because your life purpose is there. And the reason I'm going down this is this whole standing back, looking at the flow of time. Your life purpose at one point in your life is to learn the skills and to gain the experience so you can fulfill your life purpose in a later part of life. So, like I say, I don't worry about life purpose. I worry about life purpose this week. But that hand holding the torch in the darkness, again, stand back and listen so you can see that torch, but you can also be that light bearer. And to do that, you need to know where to shine the light. So again, the stand back and listening image. So I think I'm pretty much certain that it's all about standing back and listening. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think the energies this last week or so, it's gone really dark here. It's going to absolutely pour down with rain here in a minute. The energies of this last week or so seem to have been lighter than the couple of weeks before, which is because I'm in Scorpio full moon, sorry, not me for 6. So I was not expecting that at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the one reading. Now, ask a question prior to this reading. General reading rules apply. I'm not even doing zodiac sign specific here. So it's either relevant or it isn't. So ask a question beforehand. Looks like the wind's got up. There's all sorts of rattlings going on around the house now. Okay, we have some cards already. So maybe, in fact, let me just pause for one moment and I'll put some light on. There, that's better. So as I was saying, ask a question. Pause the video if you have to. Be aware of all the questions that are around you. You've heard me say this before. Focus on one of them, but just be aware of all of them. Cards will answer what they want. Or just sit back and have a listen. We've already got a few cards come out of the deck. Oh, quite a few cards. That must be the whole reading. So, as the centre of the reading, I'm going to do a Celtic cross. We have the Two of Pentacles, indicating a need for balance, but also indicating that I'm really drawn to the ships on the horizon on this one. There is something, I want to say something good coming more than just something coming, because there's something coming can sound a little bit ominous, but I actually feel these ships here, they're not invaders. It feels like more like traders coming. So, goodies. But also not where your attention is focused. So crossing this, we have the Ten of Swords. You couldn't have a better obstacle. There is an ending of something. Of course there is. It's a new moon. New moons are beginnings. Therefore, for something to begin, something else must have ended to make space for it. And it is really bucketing it down now here. So Spirit is bringing... Oh, now it is good. Spirit's bringing in the Lovers. It's crowning the situation. There is a choice for you to make and a choice for you to join with something, which won't necessarily be easy. We've got the Strength card here, but it's something that will be a perfect challenge for you. I don't want to say opportunity, I want to say a perfect challenge, because I think that it feels like it's going to bring something out that you weren't necessarily aware was there, as you with that Two of Pentacles, how your focus is more on just keeping things ticking over, keeping things going as they need to go. This a little bit of strength to meet the challenge that comes, strength to approach that. Right, so whatever it is that Spirit is bringing in, joining with it will be a challenge. Great. And I actually mean that. I know that probably sounds sarcastic, but I do mean that. That's a really, really, really good. Spirit's demanding it. You meet them halfway. Well, of course you should. Right. Oh, because it's not like things haven't been moving fast recently anyway. And I think with this, I always have this one as the past, this one as the future, because that side is open-ended. Here I'm going to put the sidebar, as I call it. But we're going from the past with the Chariot to the Nine of Cups. So wish fulfillment energies coming in, rebirth energies coming in, new dreams, because 9, rebirth, cups, dreams, rebirth of love, rebirth of emotions, rebirth of dreams, rebirth of direction. Because it's also interesting, the Chariot's looking one way, but the Nine of Cups genie is looking in the different direction. So you see here the Chariot is going to the right of the card, and there's just a singular force out of all 9 cups that's looking straight forward. Because the Chariot can also be a card of being pulled in two slightly different directions at the same time. Even though you're generally pulled along on a trajectory, it doesn't mean the 2 horses on that that are pulling that Chariot are pulling in the same directions. One could be pulling forward to the left, the other's pulling forward to the right, but they're tied to one another, so you just go forward. However, on this card, because this is Spellcaster's Tarot, we only have the 1 horse, but it's pulling along a lotus. I've never really paid attention to what the Chariot is. It's pulling along a lotus, and you've got little sparkles of light going with it. Now, I love that. I'm actually seeing the sparkles of light as souls or orbs or some form of life force and some form of guardian to that lotus. There's something. There's something special. It may have been taken away for a while. If it has been, if there is a special thing that's been taken away, do not worry, because it's being taken away to clear the space for the rebirth. And also, I don't feel with that lotus, even though it's heading away from us, that's not goodbye. It's like the lotus is going ahead. And we'll meet you there, so to speak. So, how are you all feeling? Rushed. Knight of Swords. There seems to be good advice and luck around you. Other people bringing you good fortune here, which shows that Spirit is saying that there's somebody that you need to work with, or something that you can consider to be some form of entity to work with. And the way I mean that, so yes, I can mean a person. Yes, I can mean a group of people, a firm, an organization, a non-physical entity of your own choice. You know, whether you are speaking to angels or spirits or elves or whatever, that might be. But whatever it is that you are being called to work with, it does take work. You know, you're not just being called to like have a nice dance with that you know all the steps. It is work. And funnily, I really get the impression that it's work on their side as well, which I really, really like. Now, whether it's work as in you two just getting on as a team, or it's both of you are working towards a specific goal, which does seem the more likely, really, doesn't it? I can't quite tell because, to be honest, a bit of six of one and half a dozen of the other, if you ask me. So now 3 cards for your final outcome pile, but hopes and fears, King of Cups. Am I hoping for nothing? Are all my dreams not on the solid ground that I feel that they are? Am I emotionally okay with something that's actually ridiculous? Again, that's why there's that stand back and listen. If you look at that Two of Pentacles, the expression of concentration on his face as he is juggling those two balls to the extent of ignoring everything else as well as the good stuff coming in. So that also rather makes me think that, again, the stand back and listen message, because are you concentrating too hard in keeping those two discs in the air? Right, what have we got? You can see them and I can't. Ooh, now, this is nice. Your final outcome card. So, I feel like I'm on a game show. Final outcome for the new moon in Taurus 2021. We have the Ace of Cups, Queen of Swords, Page of Swords. So that's good messages coming towards you. It does indicate that there's certain things, if you are wanting to have them cut out of your life, yeah, that's going to happen. And it is actually going to happen. But that Ace of Cups, with the Lover's card, with that wish fulfillment, this to me is looking really, really good. So whether it's a goal that you're after, a dream that you're chasing, or yeah, if you've made me do a love reading, please don't do that. I don't know what your question is, but yeah, don't make me do love readings. But either way, it looks good. It looks really positive, especially this point of if something special seems like it's been taken away, it hasn't gone away, it's gone ahead. That I feel is a really important point here. It's gone ahead for you to develop, or my brain has said to develop the blessings. Now you would imply, that would imply that blessings are something that come from elsewhere. But I'm not feeling that way. I'm feeling that it's you are being given the opportunity to make your own blessings. You call them into existence. You put the work in. You do it. And that opens up to a wonderful new time for you. Okay. That's everything that I can see there, and I've waffled for like nearly half an hour as it is. So, happy new moon, everybody. Don't do too much. Connect with nature, tell your friends you love them, and listen. Okay. Tune in later for the dive into the astrology of the new moon with David Fisher, and see you later.